This illustrates the core thermodynamic hurdle for life. Without a boundary, organic networks diffuse into the ocean, spreading out and succumbing to entropic decay. Prebiotic chemistry cannot reach necessary concentration thresholds. Precursors must be tightly packed to drive collision rates for complex polymer chains. Thermodynamic data indicates a semi-permeable membrane is a primary prerequisite for life, functioning as the spatial anchor required before the first genetic polymers could stabilize. To function, this primitive boundary had to fulfill three specific roles simultaneously: concentrate reactants to drive metabolism, safely house fragile genetic templates, and capture environmental energy gradients. Therefore, solving the origin of life requires us to look past the replication of genetic information and understand the specific physicochemical forces that drove the spontaneous assembly of the first lipid bilayers. The earliest forms of compartmentalization likely relied on single-chain amphiphyllies, such as simple fatty acids, which can spontaneously form primitive vesicles in water. However, single-chain fatty acid vesicles are physically limited. They are highly fragile and extremely sensitive to the harsh conditions of Hadean oceans, instantly destabilizing in the presence of high salinity, extreme pH levels, and divalent cations like magnesium and calcium. To survive, early protocells had to cross the lipid divide, a required chemical leap from fragile single-chain fatty acids to highly stable dual-chain phospholipids, the building blocks of modern cell membranes. The systems chemistry framework examines how lipids, amino acids, and nucleotides co-evolved within shared reaction networks, sharing chemical intermediates and thermodynamic drivers from the very start. Prebiotic membranes acted as active catalysts. They physically scaffolded RNA polymerization and early metabolism, driven by a highly specific and integrated chemical network. A modern phospholipid requires three independently synthesized components: a glycerol backbone, two fatty acid chains, and a phosphate group. Glycerol originates from the foremost reaction, polymerized by UV radiation. Deep underwater, extreme heat drives Fischer-Tropsch reduction, forcing carbon dioxide and hydrogen into long acyl chains. Having the precursors is only the first step. These components must be assembled into a single complex molecule within an aqueous environment, which presents a massive thermodynamic barrier. Standard aqueous solutions inherently prevent spontaneous esterification, the chemical process required to link these parts together. Because water is a byproduct of the condensation reaction, the vast excess of surrounding water forces the reaction backward into hydrolysis, breaking the bonds apart as fast as they form. While individual precursors synthesize easily, they fail to spontaneously self-assemble into complex lipids. The water simply tears them apart. Possessing raw molecular materials is insufficient. Early Earth required specific thermodynamic mechanisms to force their assembly into stable membranes against the pressure of hydrolysis. To overcome the severe activation energy bottleneck of phosphorylation and acylation in water, the prebiotic environment required condensing agents. Specific chemical agents like cyanamide or mineral catalysts intervene. They chemically extract a water molecule from the reactants, forcing the formation of ester bonds in an aqueous environment. This abiotic phosphorylation transforms fragile single-chain lipids into robust diacyl phospholipids, highly resistant to degradation. With enough stable phospholipids, they bypass the thermodynamic barrier. Hydrophobic tails flee the water, driving the molecules to spontaneously self-assemble into closed, spherical bilayers. The discovery of abiotic condensing agents provides a pathway for synthesizing protocells strictly through prebiotic chemistry without requiring biological enzymes. Scaling up, this image of fluctuating hydrothermal pools shows a macroscopic geological engine capable of driving these condensation reactions at a planetary scale. This environment forms the basis of the hydration-dehydration model, relying on the continuous evaporation and refilling of freshwater hydrothermal pools on volcanic landmasses. As pools evaporate, free-floating lipid vesicles collapse and stack into dense parallel multilamellar matrices. This acts as a physical trap, capturing and strictly aligning free mononucleotides between the lipid layers. The anhydrous heat then extracts water, forging phosphodiester bonds and polymerizing them into RNA-like strands. During rehydration, water swells the lipid sheets, They bud off and snap shut into vesicles, encapsulating the newly synthesized RNA inside a protective boundary. Wet-dry cycling turns the lipid membrane into an active synthesis machine, directly forcing the creation of the first genetic polymers through environmental thermodynamics. A competing geological engine operates at the bottom of the ocean. Deep-sea alkaline hydrothermal vents provide constant, non-fluctuating energy. These vents host an extreme chemical interface. Here, hot, highly alkaline fluid erupting from the Earth's crust collides directly with the cold, acidic water of the Hadean Ocean. Inside a microscopic vent pore, porous iron-sulfur minerals physically separate the two fluids, establishing a massive, natural proton gradient. Primitive lipid vesicles forming within these micropores would be continuously subjected to this chemiosmotic potential, with protons constantly pressing against the lipid barrier. Early cells could harness this natural gradient to power thermodynamic reactions, giving them access to energy long before the evolution of complex proteins like ATPases. Vent thermodynamics facilitated vesicle fusion and content mixing. Adjacent protocells merge together, sharing their synthesized organic material and expanding their internal complexity. Whether driven by the fluctuating heat of surface pools or the chemiosmotic gradients of the seafloor, ultimately both of these environments provided the specific physical forcing required to transition from static lipid vesicles to active protocellular systems. To integrate these separate prebiotic systems into a single definition of minimal life, we look to Tibor Ganti's theoretical chematon model, illustrated here by three interlocking gears. The first component is the metabolic cycle. This represents autocatalytic networks, like the foremost reaction, providing continual energy and chemical mass to the rest of the system. The second component is the template cycle, representing RNA replication. This cycle relies entirely on the continuous monomer inputs supplied by the metabolic cycle. The third component is the membrane synthesis cycle. The physical boundary must grow proportionally to contain the increasing mass of the inner metabolic and templating reactions. The chematon model suggests that the information first and metabolism first hypotheses are deeply linked. In this view, all three systems are codependent and must interact from the earliest stages of assembly. Empirical data from systems chemistry aligns tightly with the theoretical chematon. Molecules like cyanamide do not independently synthesize lipids. They operate within the same networks that drive the production of nucleotide precursors. Recent research indicates that the synthesis of the first cell membranes was chemically coupled to the components of the genetic code itself. As the internal chemical network synthesizes more lipids, the vesicle grows. Eventually, surface tension forces the membrane to elongate, pinch in the center, and physically divide. This allows the encapsulated chemical network to replicate as an integrated unit. This physical division creates the conditions necessary for selection and evolutionary change to begin, allowing specialized internal chemistry to be passed to subsequent vesicles. Early cell membranes were active thermodynamic scaffolds that provided the physical concentration and energy capture necessary for the emergence of life.